So this exam prep block is something that you are going to want to review before you take your certification test. I've not received the testing schedule yet, but as soon as I receive it, I will post it here. Um, they do have some rules and regulations that don't change from semester to semester. So I've listed what those are. And this block also contains the Gmetrics information so that you can download and install Gmetrics. And once you give it the appropriate redemption code, you will see the practice tests for the HTML and CSS certification test. There are two different testing modes. There's a training mode and a testing mode. So the difference is the training mode basically lets you see the answers as you work through, and it's not timed. So I would definitely, there's two different tests, and you can take the test as in training mode or testing. I would go through the test in training mode first, and then do the testing mode. The testing mode is timed, and it's basically like taking the real test. So do the training mode, make sure you understand everything, and then go through and do the testing mode. And if you get a passing score, do a screenshot of your score, and it should look something like this example, and add that screenshot to this Dropbox because it is worth points. Okay, so that is Gmetrics. That information is in here. What I've also done to help you practice is I've taken the different practice tests or the different unit tests, the midterm and the last test in this class, and I've combined them into a practice test. Obviously, this is not graded because you've already been graded on those. And so you can take this after the 21st. And this is just to help you practice for the certification. So this is a really important point. That means that for that last test in this class, which I believe is up here, it's due the 21st. You have to take it before it closes. Okay, this has to be completed by the 21st because those questions are going to be included on this practice test. Okay, and so this will have all of the questions from all of the tests just so that you can use it for practice and for studying. That's why it's not graded. So there's two different ways for you to practice. And the exam objectives are what you should use as your study guide. So if we open those up, this is your study guide. So what you need to know is everything in the bulleted sections because the bullets are what they use for the test questions. So when it says when to use inline styles, internal style sheets, and external, and the precedence when using a combination, you need to know how CSS overrides. So you need to know that an inline style, one that is inside the HTML tag, has priority over everything else. There's going to be questions about that. You need to know that the internal style sheet takes precedence over the external one. Okay, so those things you need to know in order to get the question correct. Okay, and then when it specifically lists out tags like this, you need to know what they do. Okay, so as you go through here, this is your study guide. This is what you need to know in order to pass the test. So we've got the study guide. We have this Moodle practice test. We have the Gmetrics practice tests. And then for anything that you need to review. And so how do you know if you need to review it? Well, if you got it wrong on geometrics or the practice test, that's a good clue. Also, if you're going through this study guide and you don't know what something is, okay? If you're fuzzy on what class and ID are, okay, that's something that you need to review. Okay, so if there's anything in here that you don't know, then you're going to come down to this review section. And I've got this general review, but I also have a section that takes you into all of the HTML tags and all of the CSS. So if we take a look at these, you can see that all of the HTML tags are here. Okay, so if there's something that you don't know how to do, you can look it up. And same with the CSS. Okay, so you can see all of the CSS information is here. So if you're not sure of what it does, you can review it. Okay, and if you are confused about anything, you can also ask me because I can help you as well. Okay, so this is all your review information. These are some of my helpful hints. These are the areas that people have had trouble with in the past. So make sure you review all of that. And if you study for this test, you should do well. If you did not pass, you can take it a second time, but Certiport requires that you wait 24 hours. So what that means, usually the retesting is on the last test day, which is probably going to be Thursday. What that means is that you're going to want to make sure you take the test at least 24 hours before that. Right. So, when you are scheduling the test, keep that in mind because you will be able to retake it on Thursday as long as you've waited 24 hours. And a pass is a pass, and it doesn't matter if you pass the first time you take it or the second, you will still get all 100 points on the final exam.